I'm still getting ready for the meetup game. We don't have anybody on yet, but that's all right. Yeah, forgetting my hat, I should have just gotten cornrows. Like,
Yeah.
by default, people are going to be like, you forgot your hat, your hair's all over the place.
They're like, what the hell?
What the hell, Professor? We expect better out of you. I liked it when we asked, who are we out with? Where we're like, who's the professor? Who's the suit guys?
Yeah. One guy right, one guy wrong.
Well, I mean, yeah, you got a 50-50 shot. Oh, we have a viewer. Wayne's going to be joining us in a little bit. He's got to hop in the shower. He just got done working out. But you can ask me anything. This is 100% live. Our meetup game is coming up. I'm still in the process of getting ready for the meetup game, but I already took my shower. But I'm just here chilling in Vegas. Had 3 bullets in the mixed triple draw yesterday. I played really well. A couple times I pitched like an 8, induced to 7, which was the right move because I had like an 8-7 and they'd end up with an 8-6. And a couple times I pitched a 7 when I'd have like a 7-6 or a 7-5, and it was the right move. So my reader's on. David, what up? The notification popped up. Had to click it. I appreciate it, David. We've got our meetup game here in 4 hours, but we're going live now because we got to get our safety deposit boxes and stuff like that here at the Venetian. But yeah, if you guys want to ask me any questions, I mean, it's been a while since I've been live. I've been super busy. Today is Friday. Ooh, my part four video of the PLO tournament comes out, I believe it is tomorrow or Monday. I'll check it. Are you going to have a meetup game during the series? I'll be in Vegas in June. David, I'm going to be in Vegas all June. The problem is if we do a meetup game, like usually we have to schedule it with a casino like the Venetian, and then they compensate us for that. So we won't necessarily have a quote unquote meetup game, but my numbers posted on my vlog on WhatsApp. If you want to meet up for a beer or a drink or play some games or just follow along, usually what I do is for people who come to Vegas, we put in like a Vegas group chat on WhatsApp so everybody can kind of be like, oh, I'm over here, where's everybody at? So yeah, you could definitely hit me up on that, and trust me, we'll play some games together. I guarantee you that. Mia, what strains should I try? I just had a wedding pie and 41 unicorns. Well, I do like Pineapple Express. I'm more of a sativa guy myself. But yeah, absolutely, David. Hit me up on WhatsApp. My phone number's 906-361-2509. But I do everything on WhatsApp. So just hit me up on that. But yeah, for strains, I'm more of a sativa person, especially if you're having you just had wedding pie and 41 unicorns. I mean, those are good strains. But yeah, I just smoked my last doobie this morning. I don't want to say it's my last one, but I told Wayne, I'm like, I'm probably not going to smoke today unless somebody at the meetup game shows up with stuff. And then I'll go join them for a doob. But yeah, you guys can ask me what questions. Where are you at, Mia, where you're enjoying wedding pie and 41 unicorns? That's my question. And of course, if you guys want to ask me poker-related content, non-poker related content, poker strategy, bankroll management. I was asking Wayne this morning, and I do want your guys' feedback. So the professor is looking at hiring specifically a coach of one of 3 areas. Ohio. Well, you know I'm from Michigan. I appreciate you tuning in, Mia, but I don't have many nice things to say about Ohio, except it only takes about 6 hours to drive through it from north to south. No, it's a good Midwestern state. Is recreational legal in Ohio now? I know anytime the states next to Michigan get it legalized, it reduces our school tax that we get for selling pot, because I know it's like 18% tax and like 90% of it goes to the schools or something like that. But yeah, is it recreational or is it medicinal in Ohio? But yeah, one of the questions I was asking Wayne, so there's 3 different people I would consider like having as a coach or bouncing ideas off of. I watched part 4 of the PLO multi-table tournament. Hope it ends well. Oh yeah, you haven't. Yeah, the part 4 comes out It's either tomorrow or Monday. I have it already scheduled. How the app games used to be easy money for me. Well, Justin, it's plus and minus. It depends on what club you're in. Obviously, you know I belong to the Madhouse. Their logo is a guy with four cards in his hand and lighting money on fire. The action there is crazy, but it's very swingy. But the reason why that is because it's 500 big blind buy-ins versus most online places have 100 big blind buy-ins. So like on a 1-2, it's $200 max buy-in. Where at the Madhouse, it's $1,000 max buy-in. So it plays more like a live game. Dispo tax is crazy. There's still cheaper options. I hear ya. Michigan does have really good flour for sure. Also from the UK, and the mates are just having a bit of a bona jagging brew. Hey, I love that I get viewers from the UK. You know, I went to London, it was like 8 years ago. It was a great place. The only thing I did not do was a pub crawl, but that's because I had I think she was 11 or 10-year-old daughter with me at the time. She was 11 at the time. Have seen less Madhouse promo lately. Moved to Prague. Yeah, I mean, I do promote the Madhouse, but it's I'm working with PP Poker right now. They wanted a bunch of my hands where I either made like unbelievable bluffs or really solid bluffs or like mad showdowns, like super huge hands. And I sent them like 11 previous videos, and then I sent them like in the tournament, I sent them, I think it was like nine of the hands. And you're going to see one of the key hands when it comes out. I think it's tomorrow. Like I said, I played some of my best, some of my worst poker on that final table. But they're supposed to be coming up with shorts for me and then putting it out. Used to love it. Have you used any PLO trainers or solvers? The problem that you run into with trainers and solvers, and I will tell you, I've been contacted to endorse a few. There's two issues with it. A lot of trainers, like even the PLO mastermind trainer, is usually 6 max, 100 big blinds deep, or it's 8 max, up to 250 big blinds deep. So the reason why they do that is because solvers really haven't figured out how to compute over 250 big blinds deep. So it's the same reason, like I tell this to people for the Madhouse, I say it's the same reason why that's like a security feature, right? Because if you go on to Club GG, which I don't know if you guys know how Club GG was founded, but if you go on to Club GG or you go on to, Poker Bros and you log in, a lot of it's 100 big blind, 6 max, and it's really prone to AI and bots. Well, AI hasn't figured out over 250 big blinds deep. So my only issue that I have with solvers is they don't go past 250 big blinds. And it was funny because 6 months ago, this PLO solver company from, they're one of my followers too, from I think it was Germany or Switzerland. I was talking to them last week. They were like, hey, we updated our software to 8 max 250 bigs. Do you want to try it out and maybe give us an endorsement? I just honestly haven't had enough time to try it out yet, but at least you can get 8 max 250 bigs. So it gives you like a good idea of how to play short stack poker, but they're going to be missing some concepts. For example, if say you're short stack, say you have $230 and there's a 3-bet for $70 and 2 callers, right? You're calling the $70, you have 160 left. Well, at that point, your SPR is going to be less than 1-to-1, so there's not a whole lot of flops that you're folding. So that's some of the things that the GTO solvers miss, in my opinion. But I also haven't used any GTO solvers on PLO hardcore because the best that they can do is 8 max and 250 bigs. And if you play like even a 125, like the 125 here at the Venetian, is a $1,000 max buy-in. I mean, that's what I sit with. I'm buying in for 500 bigs. So I wish solvers had the ability to go higher, but it'll give you a good idea on short stack poker and starting hands, but it'll still miss some key issues there. Congrats on the score. Thank you. Got first in a double board bomb pot in Dallas. That was great. They unfortunately did not allow me to record or vlog. We got down to the money, and I think the money was like, 17 or something like that, or 16 or 21, I can't remember. But I showed my phone out. I'm like, hey guys, now we're in the money. I'm going to go ahead and start recording. And I'm like, if anybody doesn't want their face in the vlog, let me know. I'll blur it out. I always make that offer to everybody. And if anybody feels uncomfortable letting me recording, let me know. And then the floor guy was like right behind me. He's like, you can't record this. I was like, what? I'm like, this is Dallas. And he's like, well, you can't record it. I'm like, you guys don't want me recording a double board bomb pot tournament that you guys run weekly, and they run it weekly on Tuesdays, but this was like a $400 buy-in special event. But sorry about that. Went off on a little bit there. I've always appreciated your transparency. I am very transparent. I'm upfront. Before I came up with the PLO professor, just to give you guys a little history, the people that I'd play poker with used to call me Knish. Because if you go back to Rounders, the Knish player is the guy that'll, has been grinding for a living, and he's going to tell you everything that you don't want to hear, but that you need to hear. And so initially it was going to be like Knish poker, but then I'm like, there's spelling issues with that. People will be like, what the fuck's Knish poker? So I just went with PLO professor, especially since I teach people how to play PLO. It just made a lot of sense. And what's funny is I met with Wayne 3 years ago at the series. We went out to lunch, and I was like, I'm starting my vlog. I've got like 200 subs. I think my very first name was 906 Poker, because 906 is the area code for the Upper Peninsula. And I was like, I think I need to change the name. And like we brainstormed, and right then and there at lunch with Wayne, I was like, I'm going to change it to PLO professor. I'm like, it just makes a lot of sense. But we went back and forth on Knish, and he was like, I don't know about Knish. But yeah, I appreciate it. Definitely hit the like button. I found out hitting the like button is like huge on the algorithm on YouTube. So anytime you're watching any of my videos, if you hit the like, it like recycles it in other people's feeds and stuff. Any study recommendations for PLO 8 and Big O? Yes, 5. That's an excellent question. I published a book called How Not to Get Scooped on Amazon. It's 184 pages, and it's $29.99. That would definitely be my recommendation. That goes into every split pot game. It's only 8 chapters, okay? 164 pages, so it dives into a lot of the concepts. I do a little bit of poker theory versus poker reality. And what I mean by that is, like, if you're at the final table, and I've talked about this before, and you're playing a $300 buy-in event, and first place is like 10 grand and second place is like 6, and your head's up, you're like, okay, let's chop, get 8 grand. That's what a lot of people will do. When in reality, especially if you haven't been in that situation before, you need to be in that situation. When in reality, like the poker theory says always play it out, poker reality is daddy's got to pay the mortgage. But the book talks about that a little bit. It also goes into every split pot game. It does Big O specifically. And then there's 2 different variations of double board bomb pot, just so you know. But yeah, it goes into PLO 8 as well as Big O. But the 2 different variations of double board bomb pot, as you guys may or may not know, there's a capped double board bomb pot game and an uncapped double board bomb pot game. And that's 2 specific strategies that you need to use in order to capitalize and maximize your EV on each type of double board bomb pot game. So if you sit down, like for example, even if you're a Hold'em player, and I tell people, even if you have friends who are Hold'em players, but when the push comes around, they play double board bomb pots, tell them to buy my book for $30. I'm telling you right now, just have them read the double board bomb pot feature. It'll save them money, and not only that, it'll make them money in the long run, because they're going to be so much more ahead of everybody else, because they're like, oh, I played No Limit Hold'em, but I read this 1 chapter out of PLO Professor's book on double board bomb pots. But yeah, for PLO 8 and Big O, I'd recommend my book as well. But yeah, it goes into 8 different chapters, and it goes into Big O and high-low. Solvers for basics, but spot you explained is the spot you need live experience for. I completely agree with that, Mia. Crush Live used to do PLO 8 content. I like Bart. He's commentated on a few streams that I've been in. I've played with him a couple of times. He's won a few 10K pots off of me. But I really like Bart. He's just an all-around swell guy. He's a little introverted, but I really like him. And a really good player, super good player. I just saw there was a double board bomb pot event at the WSOP. All right, Jason, I'm glad you brought that up. It's June 6th, which happens to be my birthday, and it's not a true double board bomb pot game. They completely fucked this up. Whoever gave Jack Eiffel the advice of, let's do a double board bomb pot game, this is how it is, Jason. 1 out of 8 hands is a double board. And so you have the button that moves, and then you have the double board bomb pot button that moves backwards. Basically, they mimicked exactly what they do in Texas. Excuse me, that's not a double board bomb pot tournament, people. Like, when I saw that they had the double board bomb pot, especially it was on my birthday, I'm like, it's Daddy's birthday. Clicked on that structure sheet, and I'm like, 1 out of 8. Within 20 minutes, I put it on X. I'm like, what the fuck? You guys just screwed this up. Like, how could you have the biggest layup possible? I mean, you literally, like, all you got to do is just throw up the ball up in the air and Michael Jordan's going to slam it down, or, you know, like, that's all you had to fucking do. You can tell I'm in my 40s because I just made that reference versus LeBron James. But in any case, all you had to do is just throw the ball up in the air and it's a slam dunk, and you fumbled it. Like, you just, bleh. So I'm a little annoyed, if you will, that they fucked up the double board bomb pot, if you couldn't tell. What's your issue with the double board bomb pot and the WSOP? Are you going to play it? Well, David, you just heard my answer. I do plan on playing it. I just don't like it. I don't know. It really tilts me that they did it that way. Because here's a scenario. Whoever did that said, well, let's not put too much gamble in the thing, right? So I'm hearing, like, for example, an Alan Kessler-esque pitch to Jack Eiffel. Well, the players want some double board bomb pot, but we still want it to be like tournament focused and slow, like a really good bracelet event and blah, blah, blah. But we still want the essence of PLO to be there. Keep in mind, Kessler doesn't play a lot of PLO. He plays some, I'm sure. And he does do like PLO tournaments. So yeah, he does play PLO, but he wants the focus to be on PLO because he doesn't want the focus to be on everybody forcing to be an ante. Nits hate to be forced to be antied. And I hate to say this, but Alan Kessler, and I don't think this is a secret to anybody, is probably one of the biggest nits out there. But my point is, if it's a double, imagine you're at the final table and you're 5-handed and everybody has, it's a bracelet event. So let's say everybody has 15 bigs, okay? Maybe 20 bigs, 20. Yeah, so you're 5-handed, everybody has 20 bigs, and then you have to put a double board bomb pot up that is like, I haven't looked at the structure, but even if it's one big, now all of a sudden everybody has 19 bigs, there's 5 bigs in the pot, everybody only has a 4-to-1 SPR, you know? It just throws the game in a different loop. Like, either play a PLO tournament or play a double board bomb pot tournament. Don't, like, dip your toe in the water. I used to tell people all the time, if you want to get into poker and do it professionally, I mean, you can dip your toe in the water a little bit, but you're really not going to be able to experience it until you dive in face first. You know what it's like when you go on a hot run and then you go on a hot losing streak, and that's poker. I thought he did more limit 8. Yeah, Alan Kessler does a lot more limit 8. Yo, I played with you in Big O game in Vegas last summer. Thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. I don't know if I was in my midst of my 100 to 10K challenge. I've talked to Wayne about this because I did run it up to, what was I at? 7,200. Was I at 70? Was I really at 72? Yeah, I was at 7,200. I really regret that. I bought him for $100, ran it up to 7,200, and I was playing for like 34 hours. Plus, we did 12 hours worth of errands. I was falling asleep at the table, and I left. But I'm not going to do that this summer. I'm not planning on it. Now, between you and me, there's going to be a few times I'm going to buy into Big O for $100. If I spend it up to like 700, I'm going to give it a little whirl. If I'm at like $2,000 within a couple of hours, if I'm at like $2,000 within like 5 hours, I'm probably going to make a run for it, depending on when that happens and when the schedule is. And so it might be unannounced. I'll just start posting on X. Hey guys, I'm at 2,000. I'm going for it. But I appreciate playing with you, Nick. Really cool that you took Hellmuth's stance on WSOP. I mean, I don't know if I took Hellmuth's stance. There's some, it's interesting because yesterday I was having a conversation. I was playing mixed triple draw. There's one of my subscribers who was also a grinder right next to me, and we were having this conversation, is poker a sport? And I said, poker's a sport. And so he looks up the definition of sport, and kudos to him. If you're watching this right now, thank you, man. Honestly, I fucking appreciate you. But he looked up what the definition of a sport, and it said it is a test of endurance. So if you define poker as a sport, and I said if, so I like to play devil's advocate a little bit, but if you define poker as a sport, then the WSOP main event is like the Super Bowl of poker. It should be the ultimate test of endurance. As a 45-year-old guy, I get it. Like, grinding 12, 14 hours a day for 7 days straight is nuts, or 10 days straight or however long it takes. I mean, my longest week that I've recorded, and I know some of you are going to be like, how is that possible, was 110 hours. And it's possible, just trust me, in a week. But I don't know if I exactly took his stance. I can see where he's coming from, but even though I'm older and I think, yeah, there should be like a scheduled day off. I mean, the event's already like 2 weeks long. How many people are going to put their life on pause for 3 weeks? Of course, if you're in day 5 in a main event, like everything else is on coast. Everything else is behind you. It's great that you and Wayne are so different style wise. It really is, like, and we wear off on each other, and it's for the better. Like, he's my work wife. I call him my work wife. He calls me his work wife. It was funny because we showed up in Vegas. I always show up in Vegas one day early, so like Wednesday, and we crash at his parents' house, and we're sharing a bed, and he takes a picture while I'm asleep, of course, but it's like me with all the covers, and he like goes, both of my wives don't let me have any of the covers, so you get to, it's just funny. But yeah, he plays a more conservative style. I play a little bit more, I wouldn't say reckless, but more aggro. But we wear on each other because I've noticed Wayne grow quite a bit on his, like, he's just like, oh, I'm just buying into a cash game for 2,000, where like a year and a half ago, he definitely wouldn't feel comfortable with that. Or he's like, oh, I'm just going to fire a $1,500 bullet into a tournament, or a 3K bullet, And so we talk about a lot of different stuff like poker theory and stuff like that. So we have key strategies, and I'm going to be doing some of our key strategies, or some of my key strategies, for what's going to give the best EV results in a bracelet event as much as possible. So I'm going to be doing 2 videos a week in March. On my dry erase chalkboard, all on tournament strategies, and then specifically like, how do you play deuce to 7 in a tournament versus a cash game? That's a pretty big difference. Stuff like that. And so hopefully you guys will tune into that. Is your book digital? It is on Amazon Kindle, and on the way they pay me on that, which is weird, and I'm just letting you know, it's how many pages you read. Now, I'm not saying go there and just flip through all the pages, but do read it, absorb the information. I'm working on making it Audible, because I've had a lot of people say, man, you put your book on Audible. So I was tempted just to like read it on YouTube and then make it as like a premium or something. I'm not sure, but I'm working on that. I've just been so busy. Like, I literally spent 2 weeks in Miami, followed up with a week in the Caymans, and then a week in Dallas. And then I got home, spent like a week. All I did was chill. I played some poker online. Poker online, even though it's still poker, it's a little bit more relaxing to me because I can do it like in my pajamas, or while I'm smoking a doob or drinking or whatever the case may be. Of course, I do that anyways. But I lost my train of thought. Oh, is my book digital? But I've just been so busy, I haven't gotten around to it. 184 pages. What size is the font? Pictures. I'll go to Amazon right now, or maybe not right now, but yeah, How Not to Get Scooped. I think it's a 7x11 or an 8x6 is the book for both cash and tournaments. Yes, the book does dive into cash and tournaments, but I will tell you, I don't go too far in depth on tournaments. I give you enough to make it to where I give you like different principles and theories on how to play tournaments different than cash. So it does go into that to where it will improve both of those games. All insurance is for suckers, including health and car. I mean, you must know me personally, Mia, because I think insurances are scams. But we won't get into that right now. Any tips for ultimate high, ultimate low bomb pots? Yeah, stop playing them. I mean, bad Josh. First of all, you have to understand PLO 5 double board bomb pot. You have 8 players. You have 40 cards out and 10 cards from the deck. 50 out of 52 cards are out. You usually need nut on PLO 5 double board bomb pot. And I play PLO 6 double board bomb pot, but that's like 7-handed, but still, it's like all 52 cards are out. What are you doing? But in PLO 5 double board bomb pot high, you need to have a lot of equity on both boards. So an ultimate high, ultimate low, you need to have a lot of equity on both boards. So you have to play ultra tight, which usually means the game sucks. So that's why I started off with stop playing it. My recommendation is go to PLO4 double board bomb pot. You're going to find that a lot juicier, a lot more action heavy, people making way more mistakes. But PLO5 double board bomb pot is a game that's great for like a short period of time. And then what happens is all the fish dry up, and then then you're stuck with just a bunch of nitty players. Like 2 years ago, I went to Dallas Poker House, and they're like, "Oh, we got this great PLO5 double board bomb pot game," and I played it. I wanted to run my head through drywall. I mean, it's everybody's just waiting to like nut pedal and check pot the nuts. Like last night, I was playing PLO4 double board bomb pot here at the Venetian $10 double board. I had Queen 9 deuce on a Queen deuce board and on an 8-10 jack board, and I had a guy check potting me on the flop, and then he check pots me on the river, and I was good. I was like, okay, I call. You have so many more mistakes in there. Are you into Bitcoin? I do some crypto, not much, but being in poker, you have to do crypto. That's kind of the business. Do you know where I can calculate all-in equities on Big O hands? Excellent question, Jason. I don't. I do know where to go. I don't have an official endorsement from this company. I've reached out to them because I will only endorse products that I believe, but it's called Poker Calc. POKERCALC. Poker Calc. And it's by, I think, Even Bet or Best Bet, but it's called Poker Calc. It's the only equities calculator that'll do PLO4, PLO5, and PLO6, and all of those high-low. And yeah, that's what I use when I go over like coaching sessions and stuff like that. It's one of the first things I tell my students to do is get a poker tracking app and then get Poker Calc, especially for PLO. But that's the best one. It goes on your phone. It's 100% free. You know, if you guys want to shout out to him and be like, hey, PLO professor told me to come check you guys out. Wayne Kessler. I don't know what that means. How come you don't like PLO5 online? Well, Ben, this is an excellent question. I love your question because it's two-folded. First of all, if you're in a union on like Club GG or Poker Bros, I hate PLO5 online. It's full of bots and AI. If you're playing in a PLO5 game that you're not familiar with, like the people who run the game or help run the game, and your buy-ins are 100 big blinds or even 200 big blinds, it's very AI and bot heavy. I have videos, not one, but multiple videos where they pan across where you see like 10 computers lined up on the wall, and they each have like 2 or 3 screens, and they're all playing with each other in these mass unions. Matter of fact, it's one of the things the poker industry doesn't want to talk about, but particularly like in Russia is one of the hubs for AI botting on American platforms for poker. And so if you're playing in like a Club GG or you're playing in Poker Bros and you don't know like the people you're playing with, I don't like it. On the other hand, okay, and this goes back like to the Madhouse, I have personally met 85%, maybe almost 90%. I say almost 90 because I think after the summer it'll be over 90. But I've met personally like face to face with like about 85% of the players. So I know them a little bit better, and there's other things that there's extra security. So like I don't mind playing it on the Madhouse, but I'm not going to play it with 7 random people. Like even Mike Matisow, I think it was like 8 months ago, posted on ACR PLO5, and they're playing like 10-20. One guy had the dry ace, and the other guy's in the hand. So this guy bets, player with the king high flush or queen high flush calls, and then the guy with the dry ace reputs it. You know, it's like, you know, or this guy bet, and then they put the squeeze on him, and he like took a screenshot and put it on X. So I have a lot of problems with PLO5 online when you don't have like ultimate trust in who you're dealing with. I have 279 today with a bill due on the 1st. How should I spin it up? Ooh, Mia. In Ohio, I don't know if there's a 4-8. I know that the shoe in Cleveland, I don't know what part of Ohio you are, but I'd probably look at a medium stakes like 6-12 limit game if you have that in Ohio, or focus on 1-3. That would be my 1-3 or 1-2. 1-2 PLO. If that's all you have, I don't recommend it because you'd only have one buy-in. Poker is a war because financial harm is real harm. People are playing for their lives out there. True. Some people play for recreation, though, Nick. We like the recreational players. They're the ones who pay our mortgage. On that, firm. Okay, I'm like Butterbean, good for a 4-round fight, but no endurance contest. You know what's funny, Nick? That pro I was sitting next to in mixed triple draw yesterday, I said, what do you think if the World Series of Poker decided to do a big FU to Phil Hellmuth? First of all, I have a lot of respect for Phil, okay? When he's playing, when he's commenting on other people's play, I have a huge problem with it. I've told him that. I've told him that on X. But what if next year the WSOP has an endurance bracelet where they say it's a freeze out and there's no bagging, and it starts at like 8 in the morning, and you have registration only for like 4 hours. So the people who sleep in, yeah, you can register at noon, but don't have like 9 hours of registration. Be like, because there's no bagging and you just play until it finishes. Then that might be considered a sport. That was one of the off-topic ideas we had. But yeah, I hear where you're going with it, Nick. But if you are the type of person who's like Butterbean and you can only handle 4 rounds, then you should play 4 rounds and that's it. You should definitely stick to cash. That would be my recommendation for you. Mujitsu, what's up, brother? I haven't heard from you in a long time. Or not true. You comment on all my videos and I appreciate you. What happened to that Split Pot Games book you were working on? Mujitsu, I just told you, it's on Amazon. It's called How Not to Get Scooped. It's already published. I published it in October. I've mentioned it a few times in my vlogs, but yeah, it's How Not to Get Scooped. It's $30, 184 pages. You can order it right now. I appreciate that. Hi, Matthew Chase. I love you. Interesting. Okay. Sarah gave a shout out to somebody. I'm not sure, Matthew. I don't know him. Jason, we'll definitely listen to an audible version of your book. See, this is why I need to get into it. I barely even sit down to read a book anymore, but audio. You know, and I used to be a heavy reader, and you and I have the same issue. I listen to a lot of audiobooks now. Thoughts on all in or fold PLO 4-handed max? I mean, if you like gambling, I like it better than PLO 5 with 7 random people. But again, if you're all in or fold in PLO 4 max, if you're playing against 2 people who are out of the same bankroll, those 2 are always going to get it all in with you, I would think. PLO Professor should run a conspiracy poker stream. Interesting. I like that idea, Mia. Just ordered How Not to Get Scooped. Thank you, Dave. I appreciate that. We'll be here Monday, Amazon Prime Delivery Day. I tell you what, man, bring it to Vegas. I'll sign it for you, too. I do that for everybody. Matt, hi, Professor. Is the meetup game being streamed today? I don't see it in the Venetian Poker live schedule on PokerGo. No, our first stream on with the Venetian Poker Live and PokerGo is March 28th. It's going to be at 5 o'clock Vegas time, so 8 o'clock Eastern. And it's going to be the 10-10 mix. Now, one thing that we were told is we're definitely going to have the stream at least 2 times, maybe 3 times. And the words were, we're going to see how many viewers you guys get compared to the No Limit game. So I got a little announcement for you guys. I'm going to put this in my vlog, but if people are logging in and they're watching, whoever makes the most comments, that makes sense. You can't just spam it. Like, hey, that was a great move, PLO Professor, or hey, whoever says PLO Professor the most times, I'm going to give you 10% of whatever I win. And if I lose, it's nothing. You don't owe me 10%. But that's what I'm going to do because I'm crazy like that. Because we have outfits. We dropped a shiny penny for this live stream. We have outfits that you guys will absolutely love. It fits both of our personalities. I can't give away too much, but let's just say we're spending upwards of 5 dimes. And if you're a sports bettor, a nickel is 500, a dime is 1,000. So we're over the 4K mark. We're somewhere between 4K and 5K on these amazing outfits, and I can't wait. So if you guys want to see those outfits, be on the live stream. It's on March 28th. Put it on your calendar. 5 o'clock Vegas time, 8 o'clock Eastern. Obviously, whoever says PLO Professor the most times, as long as it makes sense, because I'm going to review it, I'll give you 10% of my winnings. So if you mention it once a minute, you'll be good. in case there's other people doing it. But no, it's not live today. It's just down in the poker room. But we have like 23 on the list or something. We have a lot on the list, that's for sure. Hope you haven't answered, Rhett. Just joined in. Will part 4 of the tourney video be out? Thank you for asking, Robin. That'll be out. It's either tomorrow or Monday. I think I initially scheduled it for Saturday. And then when I was looking at my YouTube analytics, if I put a video out on Monday, it seems like everybody logs in like during lunch hour at work, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. So I think it's coming out either Saturday or Monday. What's the final PLO tournament vlog? Well, we're down to 6-handed, and it's 6-handed until you'll see. I think I found my strategy works well. Just call raise top of range pre-flop, check to regs, and get it all in on the river. I mean, if it's working for you, yeah, like if it's not broken, why fix it, you know? The only thing I question, and this is like something I used to go back and forth with Wayne about, is we would talk about like opportunity costs, and yeah, you can profit X amount, but are you maximizing your profit like per hourly, you know? And so there's sometimes when you might be like, oh, I played tight, but I still made $300, where it's like, not that you want to justify, oh, if I played a little looser, I would have made more, but like, maybe if you're like, I played tight but aggressive, or there's a few times where I took some chances. Like there's sometimes when you do need to bluff in PLO, as long as it makes sense. Yeah, you might be missing out on opportunities where you might be bluffing. LFG, I agree, Mia. Regs love when you check flop. They forget the flop exists in barrel, turn, and river. I mean, it depends. Every PLO table is a little bit different, but yeah, if you've got a little honey pot, I would sit on that honey pot and squeeze it out. Is our appointment at 11 or 11:15? Oh, our appointment's in 13 minutes, people. So my major issue is the psychological part. Wayne, do you want to say anything to the viewers? He's still getting his hair ready. I said he's still getting his hair ready. Have you heard of Phenom Poker? It's a new crypto site. I started playing Big O and ended up finding your channel for strategy. I recommend it if you haven't tried it out. Jason, I have a story with Phenom Poker. If you go into my X or Phenom Poker's X, you'll see some issues. I asked just real quick, I asked the CEO of Phenom Poker who audits the security team, and he didn't have an answer. And we got into a big argument with it where Scott Severs took my side and said, I hate to say this to Phenom Poker, but I'm going to agree with PLO Professor. PLO Professor and Scott Severs are telling you there's some issues. I don't know about you, but I think I would take that as a red flag.
Probably some issues, yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, we got the meetup game here in 3 hours. We got to meet with Tommy, the poker room manager. We're gonna get
tuck my shirt in while you you have a chit chat with the viewers.
We're gonna get boxes because we have the stream obviously next month. So instead of
flying back with a bunch of money, it's a lot easier to have a safety deposit box here. Plus, I don't know if you guys know this. 3 years ago, I got jumped out in front of CVS when I had $30,000 in my pocket. I don't talk about this very much, but yeah, having a safety deposit box is well worth it.
Yeah. Nate Lee wanted to come out. He had some dog sitter issues, which
I have 4 wiener dogs, so I can understand and appreciate that.
Yeah, my sister recently has used someone off of Rover.
Ooh.
Which Rover is apparently like a really top site if you're...
They do background checks on people too.
Yeah, and like they have their own profiles, and you can kind of see reviews from past people they've dog sitted for. So Nate, if you had some issues with your dog sitter, I'd probably hop on there and try to get a backup dog sitter for the next time. $50 a honey pot on Bovada. You can get away with anything there and make 75 to 100 an hour. I used to play Bodog. I think it used to be called Bodog.
Yeah, I used to play Bodog too back in the day.
Yeah, I know, it was really juicy because obviously everyone hits a big parlay and then they get on there and dump. I can't really speak on the security of it, but
I used to play Bodog when David Williams got second or third, and they had a David Williams table, and I used to play with David Williams all the time. So
Nick's Poetry says, I favor private vault over bank safety deposit box and favor gold over cash for funds you don't need immediately. Yeah.
Why the private bank vault over the safety deposit box? That's my only question. 'Cause safety deposit box, I think, is still going to be registered. I hate to say this with the government.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know if a safety deposit box in the casino is registered with the government. I think. I don't know that though.
Feels like you're playing as GTO bots that overfold or overraise. Yeah, so I mean, as Josh mentioned earlier, a lot of these sites are going to have a bunch of teams and bots. So that's kind of what you're dealing with when you deal with like Bovada and GG Poker and some of these big unions on Poker Bros and stuff. So
I mean, and think about it. The number one worst offender of bots is Russia. Like the whole area of Russia. So some websites, some poker sites that are trying to combat it, like this is one of the reasons why I like PP Poker, is because now they're putting on region restrictions, like in unions where they're like, oh, you can't have anybody from Russia, but then they're running into issues where people are in Russia and they're logging in through a VPN through like Brazil, and then they have to track it. It's all this crazy stuff. We have regular talks with security on like PP Poker at the Madhouse, probably like once every 4 to 6 months. Just like updates and stuff.
All right, so it's 10:51. Unfortunately, we gotta hit the road. We gotta meet with Tommy, and but yeah, we'll catch you guys. I'll probably do an update maybe tomorrow or Sunday. I'd say.
We'll do an update tomorrow or Sunday. We appreciate you guys. Thanks for tuning in. Hit the like and subscribe. Play smart, everybody. Run like a god.